What's up, guys? Welcome back to the next video on learning Java. My name is QDS Dani and you guys watching my channel Wood. Alright, so in this video we're gonna talk about classes, and we're gonna from now on we're gonna start our object-oriented programming in Java. So before we learn Java object-oriented programming, keep in mind double OP means object-oriented programming. We have to learn classes. So classes is building blocks of you can say of Java. Classes is foundation which the whole Java language is built upon. If you guys notice, since the beginning we have used class in all of our files, be it our for loop, for each loop, do while loop, and Corio. Say for example, we have used nearly all of them. So here in if statements we have used classes, guess game. So we have used classes, but because at the time it wasn't about classes, it was about a while loop. So we have used classes here, and we have used the methods, which is our main methods. So by default you can see that Java again you have to create a class. That's what we say here, that class is a foundation and then the whole Java language is built upon. So class, what is a class? A class is a blueprint. You can say that the class is a blueprint or template that defines the form of object. In object-oriented paradigm, class is basic unit of programming. So a class is set of plans of how to build an object. Say for example we have a class vehicle. So now we have a blueprint, our model, map, our template, whatever you call it. So you can call it a blueprint. You can call class vehicle now a blueprint. Our if you want to call it a template, or if you want to call it say for example a model, or if you call whatever you want to call it. But this is like a map, this is like a model. Say for example you are modeling one class vehicle, and then you're going to create instances of the class. Say for example now we're going to create a class vehicle, and then we're going to class from vehicle we can create objects. So now we can create a class sedan, for example. So now our class sedans, and we can create a class say for example sedan. We can create for example wagon, van. We can create a wagon. We can create a truck. We can create a bus. So if you look in here, by just one creating class, for example a vehicle, we have created many objects of this class. So that's what we said, that the class is a blueprint. So a class is a set of plans of how to build an object. So van, wagon, truck, buses, sedans, taxis, whatever, all sorts of vehicle, whatever vehicles you have in mind, they are objects. So the class defines the properties, attributes, and behaviors and methods of an object that are created based on a class. So when you think of class, say for example van, what comes in mind? Say for example the van has a color, the van has a, say for example lights, the van has a, for example shiny roof, van have a good glasses, van have a sporty looking. They all we can call it properties or attributes. And what's the van, our wagon, our truck have in common? They have a tires, which we can call this one as attributes, our properties. And it has a methods. For example, it has a function. The bus moves, the bus stops, the bus have a function. For example, turns around, the bus goes forward, the bus comes backward. Say for example class humans, we can see around ourselves, we as a human. So we can say this one is instead of class vehicle to class human, we have attributes. For example, we are height, we have a height, we have a color, for example eye color or hair color. That's all attributes. And what's our behavior? We can walk, we can talk, we can sit, we can move forward, backward. they all say methods, our methods, like we can do special, say for example, if he can play soccer or play tennis or play some sort of sports, so that's our behaviors. Also objects, as I said, if a class vehicle is a class or template, then we have a van, wagon, truck, buses, and you name it, all sorts of vehicle, they are objects. So objects are like things around us, like humans, animals, car, trucks, buses, they are all objects. So once we have a blueprint, our map of a class vehicle, we can create objects. Objects are instances of the classes, and soon we're going to discuss instantiation of the objects of a class, how we're going to instantiate objects from class. Each object is constructed based upon a class. So if you have a class vehicle, you can create objects of the class vehicle. So each object is constructed based upon a class. Objects define a state. So as I said, this data, all of this, as I said about the van, wagon, class, utility, sedan, say for example buses and sedan, they have a data, they have a state as values of its properties, its behavior, methods taken from a class that holds them together. So all of them have a, say for example, state as values of its properties. All of them have a color. Say all of these objects, they have a color. Say for example, they have a registration number, they have a number of tires, how many, some of the trucks and buses have more tires. Say for example, they have radiators, they have a lot of things that we can call it properties. And behavior and methods, that means they have functions. If they take passengers, they can move, they can stop, they all the methods of these objects. So giving initial values to properties of an object is called initializing an object. So we can initialize object upon creating. Constructor are used to initialize the object of the class. Say for example, class humans, and when say for example we all class humans, and we are instances of the classes, myself, yourself, your friends, whoever you can see as a class humans, we all instances of the class. So I am one instance of the class, you are the second instance of the class of that class human. The humans born, they are initialized. So we initializing, technically how we are going to initialize our objects is we're going to give a name to the new human, which we call newborn. We give a name just like our parents gave name to us. So that's what you can think of as a programming way, but that's nature's way. We can think of exactly that. I just want to I'm trying to simplify that so you guys understand that. So a class is consists of five main properties. Whatever class you guys going to see, a class have a field, a class have a method, a class have a constructor, and class have a static initializer, and this class have instance initializers. As I said, fields, class have a fields or properties, and when we use for example the class name, our we use a class age, our height, or whatever for class humans, and if I use that class as objects, then this is an instance. We call this instance because here fields and methods are members of the class. The data members are also referred to as instance variables, so we can initialize these instance initializers or static initializers. And the class have methods. As I explained to you already, that class must have at least one method. Even if you don't have for example here, I just wanted to explain to you guys a while loop, but I have created a class here. So I have created a class and I have created a method. So now my class have at least one method, which is a main method in Java. So your class must have at least one method, which is the main, even if you don't have any other methods, because without this you guys can't run your Java. So a class should have at least one constructor. But now you're going to think that we're going to create a class, but we don't create a constructor, that's fine. If you don't create a constructor, by default Java is going to create it for you at the back. So with that one, you guys can initialize your objects. And as I said, explained to you this one before, fields and methods are members of the class. The data members are also referred to as instance variables. Say we have a class, you guys can put a public access modifiers, say like public. You can if you put a private and protected, then you guys can go ahead with your class. You guys cannot go ahead with you have to put a public for the class if you want the Java compilers to compile your class. So just remember that class, name of the class, you can put your variables or fields here. You can have as many as you like. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 30, all the way to can put the number of n variables you can put here. Same goes with the methods. You can put a main methods. You can put a method 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, and you can have all the way to method n. You can put that one. And finally, we're going to create how to creating instance of the class, initializing, instantiation. We're going to create we'll use a new keyword, just like here. So we are using initializing objects. So that's the name of the class. That's a name that we give. We put a assignment operator here. Then we put a new, and then we put this one as a constructor of the scanner class. So keep in mind this is a constructor, and that's the name of the class. So and here we need to put a new. This is how we're gonna create a class. So we go ahead, and here we're gonna right click and we put a Java class. So for example, we put a class vehicle, and once we kind of create class vehicles. Alright, so now if I put, instead of public, if I put a private, for example, if I put a private, then I have a problem with Java. Why I have a problem? Because Java is not gonna compile this class private for me. Or for example, if I have protected, I can do protected for my classes as well. So then I have a problem again with Java. Why I have a problem? So if I put it here, then I have a serious problem. So not here again. So class vehicle is never used because we haven't used it, but modifier protected is not allowed here. For example, if you have put a public class vehicle. Alright, so now as I said, that's a public class car Java has created for us. We can remove this if you want. We can remove this, and now we can create our fields. For example, as I said here in class intro, we can create our fields. We can create this guys, for example, and I'm going to close this. For example, we can put a int, we put a number of doors, for example, because every class vehicle has a number of doors, and we put a, for example, int number of doors, number of tires, because all of the class vehicle have some sort of number of doors and they have a number of tires. And here we can put an int, for example, number of doors, number of passengers. And finally we put a string, for example, color, whatever color you guys like. For example, you guys can put anything else you guys like. For example, engine power, we can put int engine power. We can put int engine power, for example. Alright, so now we have all our fields here. As I said, you can have as many fields as you like. You can have our variables here. Why we call these fields? Because we're going to use it in our objects. So how we're going to use it in our objects, and I'm going to show you how. So now we're going to class car, for example, my car. So now we have class car here, we have a class vehicle, and we have all our fields here. Now we have a class car, and in our class car we have a public, static, void, and we have a main. Okay, we have our void main, and we have a string of argument. So now how we gonna instantiate our objects? Our object, what's our object? Our object is class car. That's our object, because we have a class vehicle, which is the blueprint. So now we want to create our objects. So we put a vehicle, and we're gonna put a my car, for example, is equal to new vehicle. So now we have instantiated this class. We are now we can use everything here, whatever the fields here. So now we can initialize this one. If we're gonna, for example, we're gonna say we're gonna assign value to fields in my car, for example. So look like there is a typo here. So what's wrong with this? Let's see what's wrong. Field. Okay. The IntelliJ IDEA thinks that's a field, but that's fine. So we can put a my car, and we can put a dot. Why we put a dot? So if you want to access the fields, you guys need to put a dot operator. We put a number of doors, so we put a number of doors, and for example, my car has a 4 number of doors, and then number of tires. And you look in here that as we using these fields, the numbers, the colors changing. So we put a get number of tires here. We're gonna change a little bit because I don't like this get. I just want a number. I want to put a number because get is something else. So I don't know why this get came from. So engine power. So number of. So keep in mind, we don't want to put a get. We just want to put a simple normal one. So the number of doors, number of tires. I don't know where that get came from. So we put a number of tires. So my car, and then we use dot operators, number of tires. For example, in my car, it's 4, because my car has got a 4 door, and what the number of tires, number of doors. So for example, the number of passengers, and for example, my car takes, for example, 2 passengers. And what else here? So the engine power. Now we're gonna put the my car dot engine power, for example, is 200 horsepower, for example. And the final one's my car string color. So for example, we put a my car dot color. For example, I put a gray. So now I have created my objects. Here we have, as I said, class is a blueprint. So now here we can create as many objects as possible in my vehicle. We can put your vehicle, we can put their vehicle, we can put anyone's vehicle here. We just, at the moment, we just create one vehicle, which is my car. Now with that, we have our objects, and we have instantiate our objects, and we have assigned values to our field, to all the fields in my object, whatever objects created. So this is our objects. how we gonna output the result. Say for example, we put a system dot out dot println, and we can put for example, my car is for sale, car for sale, for example. So how I'm gonna put my car for sale? So here I need to put some attributes about my car. So my car, for example, my car contains, for example, detail, and here we can put a nice line here. So that's the details of our car, and here we can put all the details of about my car. So for example, the first one is the number of doors my car has. We put my car dot number of doors, number of doors. Now we can put my car has 4 doors, for example, and now we're gonna come in, my car has how many. Now we're gonna put for example, so we're gonna bring this one down, and now we're gonna put my car dot number of tires, number of doors, number of tires, and then we can put my car has number of tires, or you can put it this way, tires, I think, and we put my car, and we put a number of door, number of tires, engine power, and we can, my car can carry how many passengers my car can carry. So we can put it here. So we put my car dot number of passengers. So we can put a plus here, and we put the engine power of my car is, you can put engine power, my car dot engine power, and finally you can put the color, and my car has my car dot color. You can put a color. So that's how you guys can put your objects here, and now we are ready to run. So here we are creating a class vehicle. We have a lot of fields here. The first number of doors, number of tires, number of passengers, engine power, color. Here we are instantiating our objects. As I said, we didn't even put the constructor or anything, but behind the scene Java is creating the constructor of the class vehicle. So we are assigning values to our objects, which is my car. My car is my objects, and here we are here, and here we are just outputting some sort of a program that we are selling our car. The car is for sale. So here we're gonna run. So we're gonna go here, class car. So if you look in here that our program, my car has 4 doors, and my car has 4 tires, and my car can carry 2 passengers, and my engine the engine power of my car is 200, and the color gray. So if, for example, we can change this one a little bit. My car has the number of doors, and my car has the number of tires, and my car can carry the number of passengers. So here, if you guys put a n to see that one in the next line, my car has the number of doors, and if you put it here n, then Java is gonna, so we're gonna see if we see a little bit different. So my car has 4 doors, and my car has 4 tires, and now we're gonna put the rest, and my car can carry passengers. So number of passengers can carry passengers. Okay, and if you put this one the next line, and can carry number of power, and my car, and if you put this one in the next line, then we are good to go. So we're gonna run, and we're gonna put it here. Now we're gonna see very nice car for sale, my car details. My car has 4 doors, my car has 4 tires, and my car can carry 2 passengers, and the engine power of my car is 200, and my car has a gray color. So how cool is this, guys? That's we have done our first object-oriented programming with the classes. So you guys gonna see how easy is this, that we guys just create one class vehicle here, and we can make a lot of objects. This is not the only objects you guys can make. You guys can make your vehicle object, their vehicle, my friends, my brothers, my mom, dad, uncle, whatever you guys want to put. You guys can put a lot of objects. So now in this video, I'm gonna recap that we have seen classes, we have seen objects, we have seen fields, we have seen methods, constructors, and we have seen how to instantiate. So now here we have seen a class, we have seen a field, how to declare a field, and we create another class. So in this class we have only one method, and that's the main method, and through this one we have the name of the class. We just created objects, and here the constructor. Here we are assigning values to our field, to our instance. So here initializing this guy is here, instance initializers. The data members are instance variables. So what is instance variables? This is the instance variables, because this is the instance in our objects. We are using them. We are using this one because we are assigning, we are initializing this one with the 4. We give in data. So this is all the data that our object needs, and we are using this data here, our instance objects data. So here you're looking here, all the fields that we had, our member, you can see here the data members, fields, and methods are a member of the class. So the data members are also referred to instance variables. So this is our instance variables here. You can see a lot of programmers call this instance of the variables. Here we have here, because we are using as instance here. So we are giving a lot of information, and we are printing here. You can use a lot of objects. You don't have to use my car. You can use for this class car, my uncle's car, my friend's car, my brother, my sister. You can my best friends, my teacher, my professor, whoever class. You can create a class object. You can instantiate the object. So that's how we're going to create our classes in Java. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, Cryowood. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.